One of the most important session of the day, marine rejection risk insurance, aquaculture insurance. I would request our next discussion panelist to join us on stage. I would request Shri Sandeep Dege, Head of Marine Specialty, Aon India Insurance Broker Private Limited, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Shekhar Singh, Product Specialist, Aon, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Balachandran Shiroram, Departmental Head, Tata AIG, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Sibesh Sen, ex-Head VP, HDFC Ergo GICL, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Mohidra S. Indolia, Departmental Head, IFCO Tokyo GICL, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Madhukar Sinha, Ruler Business Head, Tata AIG, to please join us on stage. I would request Shri Saurabh Srivastava, Marine Aqua Head, Go Digit, to please join us on stage. Okay. So next panel will start from whom? We have another one. They will come. Okay. All right. So we are actually segregating this discussion into two panels. We have all the panelists with us on the dais. I would request you all to please present a very warm welcome to all of our panelists. I would now request Dr. K.N. Raghavan to please present the opening remark for the session.
Good afternoon. Probably there is no area of greater interest or concern for exporters than any damage or rejections happening to the consignment that they sent. And the role of the insurers is to provide support and allow exporters to sleep peacefully, if I may put it so. So that all their worries are transferred to insurers, and in case there is any untoward happenings, there is always a fallback option available. But the role of the insurers have increased greatly over the years because of the type of difficulties that the exporters encounter, the reasons for the various consignments getting rejected, all these are increasing. So there is greater need to understand the perspective of the insurers, how the services can be made more effective, and how the exporters also should know how to make maximum or the best use of the various policies and the other schemes available with the insurance. It is with this purpose that we have organized this session. We are thankful to Aon Insurance for bringing their full team here. I can see that the attendance is a bit thin, but it will fill up. So because I'm sure because it's a topic very close to the heart of, it's a purely commercial topic and it's very close to the heart of exporters, so I'm sure it will fill up. So without further ado, I would request you to kickstart the proceedings and have a day of good deliberations. Thank you.
No problem. So we have a small presentation to begin with, and after that we have a small panel discussion on the rejection risk insurance, then followed by the aquaculture insurance. So Bhavani, can you run the presentation first?
Good afternoon.
It's just 2 minutes presentation, just to set the context.
We would like to thank Seafood Exporters Association of India for giving us time for this technical session. I would like to navigate you through the challenges of seafood exports. During this, I would be speaking on marine claims, rejection risk, and additional coverages. This is a typical heat signature on global map showing the density of reefer containers claims. It can be seen that most incidents took place in advanced economies like China, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Antwerp, and United States of America. In this slide, we can see the distribution of reefer container claims. About 69% of the claims are reported to be during the voyage, 22% at discharge port, 5% at load port, and 4% during the final leg. In 2025, as reported by a PNI club, reefer container claims accounts for approximately 30% of its total liability, and the average claim size per container is $38,000. Similarly, in 2021, the most common cause of reefer container claims was found to be poor monitoring and maintenance of reefer containers. This is a very common problem in refrigeration system. As we can see in the picture that there is formation of ice very close to the compressor outlet from where the chilled air is blown into the reefer container. Due to this ice formation, most of the energy is absorbed at this point and the reefer container fails to maintain the desired temperature. There is a process of defrost that takes place in such scenario. Even after defrosting and restarting the refrigeration generation unit, the system fails to maintain the temperature inside the reefer container because this problem is cyclic in nature. There are many such incidents reported. However, there is one classical case wherein reefer container was shipped from Argentina to China in 2022. The reefer container experienced a 7-day fluctuation in temperature between minus 25 degrees centigrade to minus 2 degrees centigrade because of ice formation. Due to this temperature fluctuation, the total cargo was damaged. Traditionally, rejection risk was not underwritten by Indian insurance companies. However, after April 2022, some like-minded insurance companies pooled in their capacity for underwriting rejection risk. Lot of seafood exporters have shown their interest and many of them are working with us. This facility is growing faster year on year. There are other add-on covers which are available with the rejection risk facility.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our panel discussion, which is a very important topic, insurance of rejection risk for the seafood exports. Now, if you look at, over the period of time, every exporter, uh, has faced this issue where either the total consignment or partial consignment gets rejected. And when you look at the consignment can be getting rejected either because of the quality issue, it could be improper documentation, it could be because of the safety issue or any other issues. When such kind of losses or rejection happens for the customer, then obviously as a customer or as an exporter, you are facing two types of losses. One is the direct loss, which is consequence of the rejection of the entire consignment, which is the product cost, transportation cost, then rework cost. At the same time, there are indirect costs which are associated with the this particular shipment, which are like a reputational loss. There is a chance that you may not get the order. There is a chance to lose the market. So these direct and indirect losses, which are very, very important from a seafood exporter's perspective. It is important to understand why this particular topic is important. If you look at the seafood export, obviously when we look at the majority of the seafood exports happening out of India is generally a cultured shrimp, and obviously it is a valuable trade which is there in India, but at the same time it is also vulnerable. So when I say vulnerable, obviously there are risk of rejection because of the chemical residues. It could be because of the biological contamination. It could be because of increased histamine levels. It could be because of other certain reasons. Maybe because of the proper improper packaging. It could be because of the other labeling issues. At the same time, as the earlier panel also mentioned about the traceability issue. So this is again a reason why it is important to understand. The objective of this panel discussion is to understand about the rejection risk in the seafood industry, how we can cover and what are the underwriting challenges and how we, as an underwriter, we look at the risk and what are the claim process or salvage in the, in this particular, when there is a particular claim which is faced by a particular customer. Now, I would request each panelist to, introduce themselves. I am Sandeep Digge. I am heading the marine practice for Aeon India.
Good afternoon. I'm Sibesh Sen, part of HDFC Marine team.
Good afternoon. I'm Shekhar Singh and I'm part of Marine team of Aeon India.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Balachandran. I head Marine for Tata AIG.
Good afternoon. I am Mohinder Ndolia. I'm from IFCO Tokyo General Insurance Company.
So thank you, panelists, for being here. And we would just start with the question and answer. And we will open up the forum for the public after the discussion is over. So my first question to Sebastian, sir. What is rejection risk insurance and why is it essential for Indian seafood exporters?
I think I'll attend to the second part of the question first. Why is it important? So I'm a Bengali and for us, हम बंगला में बोलते हैं 12 मासे 13 पर्व, मतलब 12 महीने में हमारे 13 फेस्टिवल होते हैं और सबसे ज़्यादा हम लोग पेट पूजा करते हैं. But while the Bengalis were eating their Golda Chingdi and Bagda Chingdi, the other people on the coastline from Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, right up to my friends in Veraval, they were dreaming of creating a new world, finding a new space, an export market which was earlier unheard of. And what they have created today, I think it's about $7.45 billion of exports, which is phenomenal. So it's a massive business that they have grown in an industry which is marked by very strict scrutiny and quality control. They have built it up beautifully. And while Mr. Vijayaraghavan said about sleepless nights, yes, with all the wars, geopolitical tensions, sanctions, tariffs, I don't think anybody has goes through a period of sleepless nights. But of course, the tensions that I have spoken about are taken care of the regular marine policies. The problem is that should the importing country reject your seafood, I think most insurance policies was never ever covering such risks. And rejection risk is one such important thing which is like without which the seafood industry would not flourish and grow any further. And it's basically to cover up the financial losses it would happen due to rejection by the importing country.
Thank you, sir. Just to request you to elaborate further. What are generally the main reasons for seafood rejections from India?
I think in your opening address you have taken them. I'll reiterate the same. I think the most important ones are the contamination, where you could have the other thing, of course, where we also find is microbiological, where increase of E. coli and Salmonella could lead to rejections. Apart from these, you can say microbiological and the bacterial related things, you could have issues relating to packaging and labeling. You could have errors in documentation which could lead. But most importantly also, non-adherence to regulation of the importing country could be another major factor for rejection by the importing country.
Okay. Thank you. My next question is to Mohinder sir. So basically, if you look at generally an exporter takes the marine policy and there is an assumption that the marine policy, if it is on all risk basis, would take care of all the losses. So how is it different, the marine cargo, all risk policy, and how is it different from the rejection risk insurance policy?
Thanks, Sandeep. See, in marine policy, what we are covering loss or damage to the cargo. It means there should be some damage some kind of loss to the cargo. It can be due to fire, it can be due to sinking, it can be any kind of like say damage due to temperature variations. So those losses are covered in marine policies. But here in rejection, what we are covering like say if any cargo is rejected because of quality issue, like say there might be presence of some antibiotics, any bacterial formation, or maybe any other pre-shipment issues. So those things are covered in rejection policy, but if any damage is there to the cargo, that is covered under marine all risk policy.
Okay, thank you. My next question to Shekhar. Generally, because not all the insurance companies are offering this cover. So what conditions must an exporter meet to be eligible for rejection risk insurance?
So basically, an exporter has to follow all the guidelines set by MPEDA, because MPEDA is a body which is formed for exporting, or let's say developing exports for seafoods. So they have a study-based knowledge of all the different geographies and their requirements. So I think an exporter has to follow all the guidelines set by MPEDA.
Okay. And subsequent to the same question, I would like to ask you, what should exporters do to reduce the risk of rejection and potentially lower insurance premium? Because that is always a concern put by the exporters, that the rates in the rejection risk are higher. So what they can do to reduce their premiums on the rejection risk side?
Basically, if you look at seafood exports, they would be of two types. One is cultured, the other is ocean. So to address on cultured part, I think traceability is one thing, from which farm that produces, what is the quality of feed that has been put, what is the antibiotic that has been used, and whether that antibiotic or whatever feed they have consumed, shrimps have consumed, what effect will that have on the final produce? And there has to be checks and balances to check for any other contamination within that cultured product. Apart from that, if I look at ocean catch, I think the mud crab, or let's say the lobsters, which are normally found close to the seabed, there is always a chance of contamination because of heavy metals, because nowadays there are a lot of contaminations happening in the oceans. So these parameters has to be checked regularly, thoroughly, before exporting.
Okay. So I will turn to Bala sir. Basically, every exporter here want to understand, when he gets an intimation that his consignment has been rejected, basically what happens after that from an insurance perspective?
Thank you, Sandeep. I think claims are the moments of truth for an insurance company. Today, whatever we do, we collect a premium, we issue a policy, but our real test is only in the event of a claim. And importantly, tomorrow there is a rejection claim or there is a cargo claim to the seafood consignment. Most important thing is that how do we move fast to either get the damaged portion either disposed of. One is whether the customer himself is willing to take it or bring it back for reprocessing, or whether this damaged portion can be disposed of, because it is possible that either the full consignment is destroyed or damaged, or part consignment is destroyed or damaged. But the essence of this claim is how speedily we can address this and get this salvage disposal cleared. Second thing is that in case the salvage has to be disposed or the salvage has to be destroyed, there are expenses to be incurred by the customer. Okay. So this is one thing. Second thing is that there is in case you want to bring back the damaged portion for reprocessing, there is a cost of freight, to bring back the damaged portion. Third is that there is a processing cost in case you are processing and maybe selling it to an alternate market or for alternate use. So this is another expense that you would incur. And third is of course the reprocessing cost itself. So currently whatever policies is being offered will cover all these expenses. So for the customer, it's not only the claim for the shipment, but a lot of these expenses, the salvage disposal, the freight for bringing it back, the processing cost, all of these would get covered. So in the policy, we also have something called an on-account payment clause, wherein, as soon as the claim is reported and a survey is done, we probably agree in the policy, maybe 60-70% of that amount is immediately advanced to the customer, so that he can plan to ship out the alternate shipment or maybe do the reprocessing cost. So our endeavor is not to, put pressure on the customer. We would quickly turn around the on-account payment option for the client, and they would get a fund transfer of maybe 60-70% of the claim amount immediately. These are some good points, and there are a lot of, additional coverages that, we offer. Basically, in addition to the primary, rejection, we also cover a secondary rejection. The duration, of course, can be agreed on a case-to-case basis. So all these are going to, help our customer to turn around quickly and, either ship out a replacement consignment, or maybe bring it, reprocess it, and, use them for an alternate use. So our endeavor is only to how do we speed up this process and, get the client their claim quickly. That's our endeavor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bala sir. I think it is well explained. My next question to Mohinder sir, basically if you look at, there are fewer players in the market who provide the rejection risk cover in the Indian market. But are there any alternate players in India or abroad, and how do one, really go about it?
Thanks, Sandeep. See, 3-4 years back, Indian market was not offering coverage for rejection risk. So post-COVID, Aon took initiative and they created a facility with leading insurers. So now rejection risk coverage is available in India. And the best part is this policy is almost a package policy. It is covering rejection risk as well as marine cargo plus few add-ons as well. But like say, as you mentioned, whether we can cover this risk in other market, yes, as of now, IRDA has allowed couple of foreign players, they are providing the coverage, and few brokers, they are helping in that. But like say next few months or maybe like say 1 year or so, what we feel that IRDA might stop those companies because now coverage is available in India. So they might take a decision that if coverage is available in India, then Indian money should not go out. So might be like say in 6 months or maybe 1 year, IRDA might take a call. Because if solution is available in India, they should not allow.
Yeah, I think similar stand is being taken on the P&I insurance by the
yes.
IRDA recently.
Yes.
So, obviously, it is good that 4 or 5 insurance companies have started this product in the Indian market. So tomorrow, if IRDA takes a call to stop the placement of this particular product in the international market directly, then probably there is an alternate available in the Indian market, maybe through Tata AG or IFCO Tokyo or HDFC Argo.
See, the fundamental thing here is Indian money is going out. So government would not allow to go, like say, foreign currency out of India. So you're right. I think maybe government might take a decision.
Okay. My next question to Bala sir, because I think this facility started with rejection risk, keeping in mind the seafood export, mainly Vanami shrimps, because there were a lot of seafood exporters asking for this product. Now, have you extended this particular product to any other products or any other line of exports?
Yeah, so after the introduction of seafood rejection risk, this product has got extended to all types of spices. We have extended it to tobacco, we have extended it to frozen meat, and we have extended it to select agri commodities which require this rejection risk. So and this list is going to keep expanding. We are trying to create enough capability and capacity in India so that we can extend this to other products also.
Such as, can you give some examples where you have really explored this?
No, in agri, of course, we have started with potato, but other than that, spice, tobacco, and frozen meat, so even now we are doing it, and we would like to extend this further for maybe pharma or maybe some other product group also.
Great. I think because of the seafood industry, this product is getting available to the other lines of business also. My next question to you, sir. Uh, because some of these entities have the overseas operations. So if anybody wants to cover their overseas operations out of India, mainly for rejection risk perspective, is there any provision to do so, and how Aeon or Tata AG can help them?
Yeah, so in India now we have built a capability that if an Indian customer has a subsidiary overseas, we can give them what we call as a global program, wherein we cover the Indian entity and the overseas entity. So some of these we are already doing for cargo, but we can do a similar structure for their overseas entities, and we can give a policy from India, or we can give a policy wherever the client's entities are located. So we have enough capability in India, all of these insurance companies, we have our own JV partners. So through them, we will be able to structure and give a local policy in the country where the client has their entities. So, and plus, now that we have GIFT City operation, most of the insurance companies have their operations started there. So through them also, through those offices also, we'll be able to provide, cover for the overseas entities.
So great. So if we really look at the solutions are available for the Indian exporters and also for your overseas operations, if you have any. Now I would request any closing remarks from each of the panelists.
So I think I would say what Aeon and some of the countries coming together have done is open up this space and has really shown IRDA that the risk which was not being insured so far by Indian insurance companies is available and should be expanded, and what even the limits tomorrow, once it happens, I think the limits and all larger limits can also be insured.
So we started with products of Empeda. Now we have entered Apeda also. So agri products also we are now covering under rejection policy, which probably till now nobody was covering. Even the foreign overseas brokers were not covering Apeda products, but we are into it. And definitely we'll be growing this segment as we move forward.
So I guess, now for at least for rejection risk, we have a solution in India, and I would only request and urge all of you to use this, facility and try to retain the premium, because, India is an admitted country, like many other countries, China, Japan, or, Brazil. India is an admitted country where you can't insure, arrange insurance for your shipments or for your assets through an insurance company outside India. Unless, of course, it is approved by RBI and, Government of India, you cannot do that. So, these compliances would come trigger. I'm sure as you read, many countries are now becoming admitted. They are trying to retain the insurance premium or insurance business risk within their own country. So I think a direct business cannot be seeded out. So my request is that please, before it comes to the knowledge of the regulatory compliances, we should try and come back and take a policy from India. I'm sure that just as we do a cargo insurance from an Indian insurance company, rejection risk is not different. I think the same thing happens. So, eventually before somebody raises an objection or governmental objections are raised, I think, it's a good opportunity to move now that you have a facility and an option to insure in India. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we are open to the questions from the audience. Is there any question with respect to rejection risk?
Thank you very much for being here in midst of the Seafood Exporters Association of India. Primarily, it's being a post-lunch session. Some of us, especially the Gujaratis, are all dozing off, so sorry for the thinner presence. But what I would like to basically state is that I think insurance company would come forward to any sector basically with the confidence that the sector is primarily doing well. So because your risks are also covered that way. So thank you for considering seafood sector as a safer sector and a more morally correct sector to work with. What I would primarily like to ask is that there are this ever evolving situations in terms of rejection, say, and risks both. Like the recent advent of the US introduction of tariff, and then some DNA based rejections in China for some of our species from exports from our area. So likewise, if there is a situation which does not come under the general purview, is there a broader arrangement where rejection of any kind, and maybe not intentional, but situational rejection arises? Say, tomorrow nobody in the wildest dream would think that my consignment going there would first be DNA analyzed, and then tomorrow we find out that all of a sudden that the species doesn't reflect into the Chinese list. And so nobody was doing it perpetually, but then these risks are also existing. So how are the insurance companies trying to mitigate this kind of risks also? Thank you.
So Shekhar, would you like to take it?
So Jagdish sir, I think probably you're saying that if there is a DNA mismatch reported by a importing country, yeah, and the rejection is done by the government of the day or the institutional body representative of government, right? So basically, if it's a DNA, I know it can be covered. But for other things, I mean, you'll have to come up with something, something concrete that this has happened or that has happened. Then only it can be. But DNA, it is definitely covered.
Hello. Yeah. Basically, the point is, I just drew an instance of DNA, but there are such situations like this which keep evolving. I'm sure it is happening in other commodities also, but specifically to seafood, compliances keep changing. Then those are of course government-based rejections. Then there are parties who sometimes go flunk. Lots of things which happen, which are beyond the control of the exporters. So, basically, what I'm trying to state is that tomorrow, are your policies having a provision of flexibility to that extent where, certain eventualities due to change of policy, due to change of compliance standards, I would not ideally send a container knowing that there's going to be a DNA, analysis being done, and then I will not spell out those species. But once my container is on the high seas and all of a sudden a new policy change come about, that is when we stand handicapped. So are your policies also looking after those things?
Yes, sir. So the one thing that you just mentioned, that my country is on the way, and there is some policy change or some parameter which has been changed by the importing nations. Yes, definitely it is covered, because your cover starts, rejection is covered basically starts once your cargo is packed and your surveyor says that this particular cargo is fit for importing nation. So as per the rules laid by the importing nation on that particular day. So after that day, if there is a change in policy, definitely it will get covered. And our intention is basically, if there is any change in policy making of a particular government, we see to it that we take that cover, that as covered under the policy.
So ultimately, the document which we need to refer is the policy document. Ultimately, what you mentioned, if it is falling within the policy document, if it has happened midway during the transit, it will get covered. However, ultimately it's an insurable contract, and contract which is starting when the consignment is leaving the warehouse or India. So we have another panel discussion on the aquaculture, which was actually a demand from, but it's that is where we cut it down in 30 minutes. So we have Madhukar Sinha from Tataji who can join us.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. So I think we'll just take one question. Yeah.
Hello. Yep. So my question was primarily to do with the compliance and the basis on which your premiums are charged. You mentioned that it's to do with, if basically the firm is following all of MPDA's guidelines, you can be largely you can largely have the stamp of okay to get your container or shipment insured.
Can you hold the mic close?
Oh,
to you?
sorry.
Yeah.
My question was basically to do with, you mentioned that most of the times, there'll be some odd cases where just MPDA compliance is enough for someone to get the stamp to be ki okay, theek hai, aapka container is insured. But in terms of the risks you are seeing, is there anything else in terms of the technical stuff, the on the ground stuff, which you've been looking at in particular? Now, in terms of aquaculture, I'm sure you'll get to it eventually, but you'd mentioned antibiotics. But same thing in the marine sector. You mentioned for lobster exports and heavy metal contamination to do with that. Are there those technical things which you look at from a firm-to-firm basis or do some sort of an audit from a firm-to-firm basis before you offer your insurance packs?
So basically, if you look at in case of marine, the documentation asked when there is a claim. Frankly speaking, nobody is going to ask you for documentation at the time of issuance of the policy. That is how the marine insurance worldwide gets operated. So when there is a claim, they would ask you what were the pre-tests which were done before the shipment, whether it is from the MPDA approved laboratories or not. So those certification would be required at the time of claim. And what are those parameters which has gone higher, or is it related to the transit portion? So those things would be taken into consideration. So people would not get into audit of each and every consignment, but when there's a claim, they will just ask you to provide those documentation, which is part of your process, normal process of export process, basically. So that is what they would look at.
Okay, yeah, that's what my question was. That basically, at the time of the claim, at the time of the audit, when it's required.
What we can do, we can give you an idea what are the documents you would require at the time of claim, so that there is absolute clarity that we don't ask you third or fourth document additionally. We can give you a upfront, clarity that these are the documents which would be required at the time of a claim, so that you are absolutely clear on the request which would come from the survey side when there is a claim.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much. Thank you, panel. And thank you, audience, for listening patiently to us. If we really look at, and if we have to summarize the panel discussion on the rejection risk insurance, it may happen with a particular exporter or an insurer, but it is not the problem of one exporter or one insurer. It is a systemic issue which needs collaboration across all the stakeholders, starting from farms to processors, to the traders, to the lab test, to the regulators, all needs to collaborate. So I'm sure with rejection insurance available in India, this is going to help the Indian exporters, because when there is a claim, you know exactly whom to contact, and you can meet the person, there is a personal contact for the claims which is available very easily. So with this, like to thank the entire panel who is present, and thank you, audience, for this. Yeah, one more question. I think there is a. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, I represent Government of Odisha Fisheries Department. So I have one or two small questions for this. Sir, do we have insurance coverage for warehouse products? The shrimps stored in cold store, or during the transport to transfer of containers to these ports?
So these are available, sir.
These are available?
Yeah.
Achha,
both are available for transit and storage.
Achha, whether air cargo is also covered? Air cargo,
yes, air cargo is covered, sir.
Okay, by all the insurance companies we are discussing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So all modes of transportation would be covered.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now we would. So thank you, Sibir sir. Thank you, Bala sir. We'll have Prashant Chopde would be joining us. Prashant? Yeah. So what we try to do here to separate the two panel discussion, because by nature these two insurance policies are completely different. One is the marine insurance policy, one is the aquaculture policy. So obviously we did not want to mix it because the experts of the panel would be completely different.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting technical session on aquaculture insurance. Since the final beneficiary of this insurance is farmer, hence there was a requirement for intense research and a tailor-made solution. Let's go through the promise of protection and comprehensive aquaculture insurance. This is a unique proposition with intensive and unmatched protection in a very simplified way. We all know about the aquaculture insurance. It basically covers mortality of shrimps. With our research and tailor-made solution, we have implanted 3 no's and 3 yes in our program. The first no is no surveyor. There is a clarity in coverage and the claim amount during the placement of the policy, hence no miscommunication.
Obviously, the the landscape or the kind of products what we are covering in the aquaculture is from shrimp to the freshwater culture generally, and obviously this is a fast growing segment within India. Obviously it is the growth is there, but obviously the product also or the aquaculture also suffers with certain risk. The risk, if you look at the risk such as the extreme weathers, floods, the risk of contamination, the risk which of rejection, it could be a market rejection, export rejections. Similarly, there are other risks which are associated with the aquaculture business. And if one is actually ensuring this, it gives a basically peaceful sleep for the producer, because that is very, very important. If I really look at, there has been many attempts in the Indian market where people tried to come up with the aquaculture solution. However, those solutions were not taken up by the market because there were definitely certain lacunas. Either the claims were not getting paid, or the deductibles were too high, or the process of getting the insurance was too cumbersome. So that is where there has been an effort of Aon along with Tata AG, HDFC Argo, Digit, and IFCO Tokyo to come up with this particular product to cover the aquaculture insurance in India. So we have here the panel of experts from the insurance underwriting and broking. So I would request each one of you to introduce to the audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Madhukar Sinha, and I work for Tata AG.
Hi, good afternoon all. Myself Dr. Prashant Chopade. I am from the Tata AG and taking care of this government and rural business.
Good afternoon. I'm Mohinder Ndoli. I'm working for IFCO Tokyo GIC.
I think you have already, Shekhar has already introduced. So we'll straight away come to the pointed questions with respect to this particular panel discussion. So my first question to Madhukar sir is, sir, just to set the context for the discussion, can you elaborate on the current landscape of aquaculture insurance in India and its importance?
Thanks. This is a very good question because the concept is very old. I think I was taught 37 and a half years back about aquaculture, but 36 and a half years, I did not insure a single farm. So concept is very old. I could share the regions separately, but now it has a revised focus in terms of, opportunities, not for only insurance companies, but also for exporters, farmers. If what I have been told that the government of India has very aspirational number, and India wants to be number one in shrimp exporting, number one is a shrimp exporter in the world. The second is that is much more aspirational than the first ambition is they want to beat GDP of agriculture product. So that's something which is going to open up, lot of scopes for entrepreneurs in futures, farmers and exporters. However, saying that the insurance of aquaculture at present is at a very nascent stage. If I term it as at pilot stage, I won't be wrong. So that's what we are our situation as of now.
Thank you, sir. Second question to you, sir. What are the main risk drivers in aquaculture in India?
So I think most of the risks you people have discussed post-production, and first session was very, very relevant. So one is obviously physical hazard, and you can, again divide into two types of physical hazards. One is what you call climatic risk, and second is catastrophic risk. Climatic risk is something, which directly or indirectly causes loss of production or wiping out of the entire crop. And second is, earthquake, flood, etc., which is cat loss. The one risk which is right now, and we have got a product, is for covering diseases. So we are covering all kind of diseases, whether it's a viral or bacterial or fungus or non-contagious diseases. So that's also being covered in the policy. So those are the risks which they face. Third risk is very important, and some discussion happened in the previous session. So you also have regulatory risk, and we have CAA established in 2005. They were doing a good job to see that we have sustainable ecosystem and climate along the coastal line. So that's a risk which we have not talked about, we have not discussed about, because there are a lot of clarity to come up. So that risk is a insurable risk, provided the violation is not voluntary. Last but not least, which you guys are already covering, which is transit risk and risk of disruption of supply chain. So these are the risks which are insurable in aquaculture, and we can have integrated product once the pilot is over. But yeah, these are the risks. Primarily, these are the risks to be covered.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My next question to Mr. Mohinder: what are the practical barriers in the aquaculture insurance in India?
Thanks, Sandeep. As sir mentioned, see, in last 35-40 years, there is hardly any policy issued or hardly any claim seen. So the topmost thing which we are missing is the data. The data, loss data, so we need, that is the basic thing to price any product. Second thing, what I feel is, let's say, past experience of the client, there might be some claim issues. So issues, the reason what I feel is the documentation. So sometimes, like say, if sufficient documents are not available, there might be some bitter experience of client. So they are not looking for the coverage. But now situation has changed. Documents are easily available. If documents are provided to insurance company, so solution is, like say, can be provided easily. Apart from this, like say, what I feel is like awareness. So if awareness can be increased, it can be from insurance side or maybe like say from broker side. If we can like say spread awareness that we are having this kind of product, it covers everything. It is very, very simple. Claim documentation is very, very easy. Then things can be improved a lot.
Okay. So one is obviously an aquaculture insurance, but what are the alternate risk transfer solutions available in the market in this space?
See, there are multiple policies. Like, see, what is the major risk? Major risk is a disease and environmental issues. So, market is offering multiple products. Few products are, like, say, named peril, wherein if any loss or damage occurs because of specified peril, that is named peril product. Few products are available on on-risk basis. It means everything is covered. Whatever cause is there, that is covered except few exclusions. As a seafood, we are having all risk options. We are having parametric coverage. If that parameter triggers, loss is there or not there, insurance company pays the claim. And the third one is, like, say, if any damage occurs during transit, we are having multiple policies, like, say, marine policy or rejection risk. So if any assets are there, we can offer property policies. So multiple products are available to address the requirement of this sector.
Okay, thank you. So it is good to know the alternate solutions like parametric which are available for the producers in India. So my next question to Shekhar, because technology nowadays plays a very important role. So how do you see how the technology actually is playing the role in the case of aquaculture and how it can help?
Thank you. So basically, when we look at aquaculture, the entire environment or the universe is water. So the parameter of that particular water, like temperature, DO, these things can be noted by equipments which can be very well, be embedded with IoT. We can also have satellite-based risk management, wherein through satellite we can run a lot of algorithms and we can assess with a color of the water whether the oxygen level is adequate, what can be the temperature. So these are there available.
Okay, so technology can now play a vital role going forward, and it can also reduce the cost of basically insurance operation also to a greater extent. So my next question to Prashant, because you are an underwriting expert, so what are the main types of aquaculture insurance policies available in the industry?
So basically, Madhukar sir has already shared that aquaculture insurance is not a new for the India. Aquaculture insurance was offered by the most of the private public sector insurance company earlier, but because of their bitter experiences, the industry is not developed. But with the intervention of the government as well as the change in the cultivation practices by the farmers, now the insurance companies are seeing it as an opportunity and providing the various coverages. The primarily coverages available are the basic cover, which include the named perils like flood, inundation, then fire, and the pollution, contamination, pollution. Along with this, summer kill is also one of the coverage available, and the terrorism and earthquake. These are the commonly used cover under the basic risk. There are the policies which are covering the comprehensive, which include the basic plus the diseases. There are some insurance companies which are offering the limited diseases, and there are some companies who are providing there is no cap for the disease coverage. The another insurance coverage available is index-based insurance, that is parametric, which we are already told ki there will be the payout based on the deviation in the weather parameter like rainfall, temperature deviations. And there are some policies available on the indemnity basis where actually losses get paid against the as per the losses, actual losses. So these are the primarily available coverage under the insurance policies.
Thanks, Prashant. I think my next question to Madhukar sir is basically because everybody understands the benefits of the aquaculture insurance. However, as you rightly mentioned that there is not much of an uptake of this particular product. So what do you think, what are the different reasons for this situation?
So for any insurance product, if there are three critical issues. One is availability of product, second is affordability of product, and third is accessibility, whether distribution is reaching to the last mile or not. But in aquaculture, I have another thing to add. Availability of product, whether we have good products to offer to the customer, this is from the client perspective. From insurer perspective, what people are trying to find a solution which makes the insurance product commercially viable. And to start with, when we started that discussion, we all are talking the commercial activity. So what is happening in that area, and I would urge to all the people involved in this business to create an ecosystem where, we create a win-win situation for every participant, every stakeholder. I always say that, when you want to buy an insurance, it is not an investment. It is your contingency plan. It happens and nobody wants to have a loss, especially exporter, because their supply chain gets disrupted. So what we are trying to find a solution, and we will definitely find a solution. So these are three areas we would cover up. We are trying to bring the product available to you. Aon and Tata AG have been working for quite some time. We have done a lot of research. We personally visited all the institutions connected with aquaculture. So we will be creating the distribution channel so that if people are, our products are accessible to the farmers. And the last but not the least, we are trying to make it available at affordable price. But one thing which we have noticed at initial stage, and we may call it pre-pilot stage, so people have a tendency to insure the things which has got a higher propensity of loss. So if that happens, what you will find that the price would go up. At the end of it, it is there. So I want to create a culture where whether low or high risk. For example, everybody does life insurance, though nobody wants to die. Because the reason why life insurance is done and the kind of average life has gone up substantially, that's something because it's a contingency planning. So the same way we would like to create, and we can also innovate some product which is covering integrated, fish culture, aquaculture, shrimp, various variety, not only those varieties which have got high propensity for or high potential of being lost in due to illness, due to disease and all. So this is something. So reluctance is from both sides, from the customer and from the insurance company. We are trying to bridge that gap, and we hope that we would be successful. Last but not the least, you see the agriculture insurance in India has become very, very, all pervading, instrument for risk transfer for farmers. It's available to every farmer in the country. We should aim at that similar way. We should bring it to the aquaculture farmer or fish farmer in India. Then, we would be successful. I think affordability, accessibility, and availability are the three reasons why it has not grown to the desired stage.
Thank you, sir. I think hopefully we bring back that golden balance between the underwriting and the customer interest. And as long as we maintain that, probably we'll be able to, help the customer also with a good product which they would be interested. My next question to Shekhar: what strategies, because we have seen that the uptake is lower, so what strategies can help overcome the current challenges and increase insurance availability and affordability?
So in current scenario, the trust level between the insurance company and the aqua farmer is at all-time low. So for a farmer who thinks that, I want to insure my farm, and after insurance it doesn't get claim, he feels cheated. So the same way for the insurance company also, they have got their own mechanism to settle a claim. That's the reason currently this bridge is not being filled. But the only option that I foresee is the corporate bodies, the government, they have to come forward. The corporate bodies like the feed manufacturers, the hatchery people, they have to come forward to bridge that gap so as to make this aquaculture insurance affordable to the market.
So thank you, Shekhar. Obviously the affordability is key to the insurance uptake, but at the same time, as sir already mentioned, the availability is also important. My next question to Prashant: how the various stakeholders, including farmers, insurance, and governments, can better collaborate to improve the efficacy or the efficiency in the entire insurance process.
So basically, any industry for the it is prime importance that all the stakeholders should have the collaboration properly. We have the experience of the successful implementation of the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which had covered more than 42 millions of the farmers under this scheme. So it is just because of the every stakeholder, including central government, state government, bankers, farmers, insurer, reinsurer, all these stakeholders had played a crucial role. Similarly, in case of this aquaculture, farmer, which is a basic stakeholders in this policy, he has to play the basic role by adopting the best management practices, which had been laid down by all the authorities. The second one, by using the technological intervention for the best management practices improvement. The third one is the data keeping. The data is the major challenge, and farmer will help to get that particular data available to the insurance company as well as the scientific community for the addressing the issues on the aquaculture farms. The insurer, they have to make the affordable products. They have to make this simplified product and easily understandable products which can be bought by the aquaculture farmer. Along with the insurer, reinsurer is the another key. Unless and until reinsurer support will not be there, insurance company will not have that much capacity to penetrate the insurance market. The foremost important part, government has to play. The insurer, aquaculture insurance farmer as well as the industry, it is expecting the miracle like the way it has been done in the crop insurance, that the type of subsidy and reducing the premium rate, we are thinking of this affordability. That affordability can be the part of the part from the government sides. So I think if this collaboration will be done, we can see the development in the aquaculture business in the future.
Very true. I think each stakeholder will have to play their part. Now you just touch upon the government initiative. So my next question to Shekhar is, what are the initiatives being undertaken by the Indian government in securing farms culture?
So I think currently the central government as well as the state government, they are subsidizing the insurance premium. The limit for that is the land has to be not more than 10 acres, and up to 1 lakh is the limit for insurance subsidy.
Okay. So obviously government is trying to play its part, and as insurers we'll have to play our part to make the product available for the lowest farmer in the rank. So with this, I think I would just take a closing remarks, especially focusing on the way forward for the aquaculture insurance. So can I request Madhukar sir to just give us what is take on the way forward for the aquaculture insurance?
So on behalf of the insurance industry, I promise you that we will be innovating products to cover the needs of the aquaculture farmers as well as exporters. We have to walk together to bridge the gap, and so that we have list of the human intervention and optimization of efficiency which we can collectively bring to the table. Thanks a lot.
Yes, right. As rightly said by Madhukar sir, we need to bridge that particular gaps which had been there between the aquaculture farmer, insurer, and the other stakeholders. And with the increasing awareness, we will definitely do we can grow together.
Thank you, Prashant. Now I open the forum for questions to the audience, if there are any.
My name is Ranjit Ganpati. I am an importer and distributor based out of UAE. You mentioned about land-based aquaculture insurance products. Does this same product be applicable?
Can you hold the mic a little closer, please?
does the same product is applicable for offshore cage farming as well?
So, I think before I ask the expert, but my first take would be what we are doing is the pilot right now in the Indian market first. Obviously, it will take some time to offer the product to the offshore farmers at this stage because we'll have to first establish the processes, standards, everything, find out the golden balance for the Indian farmers, and obviously then the insurance appetite would increase for the overseas farmers. So right now the answer is no, but future definitely yes.
Okay, because there is a considerable population of dam-based cage culture projects going on in India, and the governments of various states are also coming out with offshore areas leasing. So we have also applied for one area and we have been allowed it. So that particular product is not available is what it's a current stage, right?
Correct, sir. Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Thanks.
Please, sir.
So panelist, I represent Snowman Logistics. So we deal in reefer vehicle and cold rooms. So two of the panelists talked about the technology which will be guiding tomorrow the farmers in this field. So as there is technology, so there are risks with technology, right? So it can be a disinformation which can guide a farmer through a wrong data if it is hacked, and if the product gets spoiled because of some data guiding someone, and the the marine culture getting spoiled. So are the policies also being discussed around the digital disinformation risk and the solutions around it?
So you were talking about, I did not get your question. You were talking about technological capability, or are you talking about moral hazard of farmers? What are you talking about? Can you please?
Sir, as we say, like there are many information which the farmers will be getting in future. Many startups are also coming which are going to tell the, as Mr. Shekhar said, that someone will be getting information on the about the nature of the water. Now, my question is, if that information is hacked and someone is trying to put a disinformation, and due to that, if the aqua product gets spoiled, so are such things also being discussed about?
So I think what you're saying, because of misinformation by some credible organization.
Cyber threat, because that is
right now that cover is not there, but we can definitely think of this far-sighted. First of all, let us go to the technology level, and agriculture we are doing it very comprehensively now. So everything is being done, but cyber crime is not covered in that also. Okay.
But in future it will be, I guess.
It's an insurable risk. If farmers pay the price, or insured price pay the price, we can design the product.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gauri Nanda from Government of Odisha. So my friend was asking about the insurance coverage in dams culture, right? So that is also covered under PMM KSSY by Government of India policy, and guidelines have also come. Maybe some insurance companies, they may take some time, but it is covered. In Odisha, we are having the biggest reservoir called Hirakud Reservoir, where cages have been installed for the first time, circular cages with a production capacity of 30 tons per cage, and that was insured by companies, government insurance companies. That is also covered. Okay, thank you.
What you said that we see besides brackish water, inland in India is covered. He was talking about offshore.
No, offshore, sir, we don't have a mariculture policy.
Indian insurance company cannot cover, but India, it is available. Inland cover, non-brackish water, any kind of aquaculture, insurance policies are available. I'm not sure how many insurance companies are providing that cover, but it's available.
Sir, but mariculture, I have once, Government of India has formulated one draft mariculture policy that is under consideration by the states. So once it is going to come, then I think this can also be covered, because India is having very less area of mariculture, marine cage culture. So that maybe in later stage it may come also. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for that information.
I think the questions are over. Thank you. Yeah, there is one more. Okay. Please.
Good evening. This is Madan from Sandhyama Rains Limited. We distribute the feed. We manufacture and distribute the feed. I would like to know, when you say aquaculture insurance is on a pilot project, so what is the scale of this pilot and when this can be considered as a regular insurance like other products?
So, sir, good evening. So if you talk about scale, I can only say that it has been about 40 days and we have covered about 753 acres of land under cultivation.
Hello, I'm Shoumitru from IFB Agro. So just wanted to ask, is there any kind of like group insurance concept in this? Suppose there are a group of farmers that we gather together for a project, for example, BAP or AAC or any kind of project. So is there any special scheme for them?
Right now we don't have. This is again insurable, but this is not there. We will tell you right now that kind of risk, if it is priced, it will be very, the affordability will come into question, number one. Second is, an insurance company, one thing we have been struggling for is the data, the quality of data of past. However, saying that, we do have parametric cover. Parametric cover, if you want to cover, it will be covered. Disease as of now will not be covered. It will be done after these pilots are successful with the insurance.
Can I ask one last question, please?
Kindly.
See, basically, we, the exporters, face two kind of problems. One is, of course, the risk, rejection risk, which you've already elaborately spoken about. There's one more risk, underlying risk, which we face. Andhra is the primary producer of aquaculture producers. Of course, there are states like West Bengal and even Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. But a lot of people source their material from states like Andhra and bring it to, say, Gujarat, to Kerala, even to Tamil Nadu. In that case, there is, of course, people who are buying in Andhra, they do the PHT and ensure that there is antibiotic-free product, and then they procure it. But there are times when certain products reach us and that management of risk is not taken care of. So in the future, when our exports are secured, is there a way, or please look at it for this also, that when we procure the raw material out of the farmer and out of the blue we find that it is infected with antibiotics, that might be a big risk for us, for the exporters. So if there is some kind of coverage which can be looked over for that also, I think, since it's I'm not asking this question whether you're doing it, because it's even your aquaculture basically is on the pilot stage. So please consider this also, and if it is available in the future, please do communicate to the exporters. Second thing which I want, we had a very elaborate and a very nice discussion held today, but it's like that not too many people have been benefited out of it. So based on today's discussion, both on the aquaculture side and the risk insurance side, if there is a synopsis which you can make about the discussion which has taken place, the questions you asked, based on that, we will circulate one to our members, to the seafood exporters, that this is what has been discussed, and this is, so that their questions also can be answered, and your coming here all the way to Delhi is more fruitful based on that. Secondly, even we will distribute whatever you have spoken about the farmers through our friends, the Farmers Association also. So that is the bit which we would like to do for the insurance sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it was nice to hear that, but the first question, where we can find a solution, we will definitely try to find out a solution. This group is quite innovative, and I would say they are ready to take a calculated risk, and therefore I see ray or hope, and we will be able to provide you the solution for your problem. So second, obviously you are offering us the help to promote this solution to the other farmers, so we are really thankful to you on this. And with this, we would like to conclude, and thank you very much. I would just say and conclude that aquaculture insurance is definitely going to help the farmers, but it is not a magic bullet So obviously, all the stakeholders have to work in collaboration. Then only the insurance would also continue, because if the insurance, for the insurance company, if the insurance is not remains unsustainable, obviously they will again move out of the market. So for the insurance to stay longer and every party to benefit, obviously all the wheels of the vehicle have to work smoothly. So that is what I would say and conclude. Thank you very much. Thank you, panel. And thank you, audience. Even if you were lesser in numbers, but the questions were interesting. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much to all the speakers for such great information to all of us. I would request Mr. Jagdish to please join us on stage for a group photo and sharing the momentum with all of our speakers. I request to have a huge round of applause for all of our speakers. I would request you all to please join us for a group photo as well. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing such great and valuable insight with all of us.